Everyone, when they go home, qualifies for food stamps. The maximum amount for one person, depending on how many people in your household. And because I went to a program, I was considered, single, no dependents, whatever. You get that, but in order to keep it, you have got to go through the workforce and be a part of this little orientation to their system. And I sat in that meeting, and if you listen, a lot of people were playing on their phones or playing footsies. And I did public speaking for a long time, so I was like, I'm going to totally pay attention because that's what you're supposed to do. And this lady said 6 services that they offer. So I'm writing down, I need that one. Oh, I need that one, right? I just got home. And so when it was all said and done, there were 3 services I was interested in getting. And one of them was rental assistance. And in order to get that, you had to spend 30 hours a week looking for a job, document every single contact, what you did, who you talked to, what the result was, and then you have to follow up with it later. You have to document that also. You have to turn all this stuff in every single week. And if you do that on a consistent basis, they pay your rent. This is what they told me. Anyway, long story short, they eventually ended up paying it, but I had to really, really fight for it, and they made me feel like a criminal. So I did get that assistance. I fought for it. I got it one time, and then I went back and said my piece with them, and I never went back there. By then, I had a job. I did keep my food stamps for a while because I went through that process until I made too much money to get them.
I went and got food stamps. I got them for 3 months, and then I haven't had to use them or whatever, but I guess I could go but I don't need them. I don't need them. And so I don't do that.
One thing I did, I went and got food stamps. I got applied for food stamps, and the first thing they do is they gave me $200 worth of food stamps, and then they go by your pay. If you're working, they're going to go by your pay. The more money I started making, the lower they did them. But I kept them for 6 or 8 months, but I needed them then. But I was able to save money, too. I wanted to save money because I had to get a vehicle. I'd never bought a vehicle. I didn't even have a driver's license. I'd never had a driver's license, so I had to go get my driver's license. And a lady in AA took me to get my driver's license. And I did that on the monitor. I did it on the monitor. I put it on the schedule, and I went up there, and I got my driver's license. I took the test twice, though. But I passed it, and at 47, I got my first driver's license.
211 is an awesome number to have in your back pocket. Any kind of resource that you need, they provide it, and it's free. I'm talking from scholarships to helping you get housing, to cars, medical, 211. Just think of that as all my needs are in 211. Call them up, and they have the services. They even have counselors and mentors, coaches for any field or issue that you may have. It's a nationwide service, and they really target ex-offenders. I'm like silver platter for them. They believe in that second chance.
I know about, so like Medicaid insurance, you go down to the Texas Health Department in your city, wherever, maybe a region, so you may have to go to the next city over because there's regions, and you can apply for food stamps, TANF, and Medicaid. They have recently lowered the limit that you have to make to help more people get on Medicaid. And then you can go to what they call public assisted housing, which is HUD housing. There is a waiting list, so you need to go as soon as you get out to apply for these things. And there's different criteria that will help you get. If you have children, that bumps you up the list. If you have an open CPS case and CPS is fixing to give your children back, that also bumps your name up to the top of the list. So you need, when you're applying, to also be honest with them about, I have a CPS case, or my children are here. And then there's women's shelters in most major cities. You can get into them, and they have all sorts of programs to help you get back on your feet. There's just places, it's just people get afraid to ask, or they just think, okay, I've looked one place and I can't find any help. But the important thing is, if this person says no, go to the second person. If the second person says no, go to the third person, because you're gonna get no's. That's just gonna happen. So just ask, and ask them, okay, you're saying no, where would you suggest I go? So when they suggest where you should go, then go to that place. If that place helps, wonderful. But if they say no, then again say, where should I go? You will eventually, it will be tedious and even annoying, but you'll eventually end up at the right place.
Another place they sent me to was, I think today they call it the Department of Assisted Rehabilitative Services. And those people helped me. They sent me to the doctor. I got a physical. They helped me get new glasses because in prison, you know, we don't have really good glasses, and glasses are like jewelry for the face. So I wanted to have some new glasses, so they helped me with that. So there are resources out there that will help you. You just have to know where to find them and how to access those resources. And I believe that's part of what this program is about.
The public assistance, I got in touch with DARS, and DARS was able to help me get a resume started. They also helped me with hearing aids. Now, my husband went to Texas Workforce Commission. They had helped him get tools, a trailer, he had gotten a truck, they had got him a job, I believe. There was just some different things that they really went about and helped my husband with. And he's got 16 years sober, so they've been doing it for a long time, yeah.
When you know that you're going to be starting over and you do not have money, go and seek assistance. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's never a wrong question. There's never a dummy question. You always want to ask, so therefore you can make the right decisions with your money. Money is hard earned, and you want to make sure that you make the right moves and do the right investments and the right type of savings with the money that you have. So I took a couple of classes via a Tory program in the Dallas area because they didn't cost anything. But at that time, they referred me out to a budgeting class through the housing program, which when you want to buy a home, they suggest that you take the financial planning class, the credit repair class, the things that kind of help you understand, even if you don't have any things, how to save. And so I took those classes, but I also took an extra step, and I got a financial person through a tax preparer. So because I hadn't done taxes, and I had some back taxes that didn't get filed during my time prior to going in, I had to clean that up as well. So I established a relationship with my tax preparer, and she assisted me with keeping spreadsheets and learning how to document stuff, keep receipts. So I was able to go back and realize where money went if I felt like I didn't have enough the next time I needed it. So the classes and the suggestion of getting a financial person, which was my tax person, is how I made it. The challenges with taxes and going back and trying to repair some of that, you really need to have someone who's informed that can walk you through that process. With my taxes as being a self-employed person is very different because I have to decide on how to file, if it's going to be jointly with my company or as an individual, being taxed twice. Well, I chose to go the route where I incorporated small, limited liability, where therefore I only have one tax, and therefore if there was an issue that happened within my taxes with the business, it wouldn't affect my family household because it would as a small business entrepreneur. And again, my tax preparer kind of educated me on the best route, my best filing form set and layout to do. So I would always recommend, if you're going to be a self-employed person, have a tax person and a law assistant person that can help you or guide you on the right steps, so therefore you don't get in trouble with IRS.
It was really hard for me because I was in prison for almost 3 years, I hadn't filed. So when I did my taxes, it was a struggle because I didn't even know what to do with it. I didn't know who to talk to, what to put on my taxes, you know. And then I'm a single person, so for me it should have been easy, but I struggled with that. And I had to go back 3 years, and I had to find somebody that was willing to help me with that because I was clueless. I didn't know anything. People are willing to help you. People are willing to, you know, if you don't know, you know, you have to ask and you gotta search and you just gotta keep trying, you know.
Whenever I got home from prison, the first year I was home, I filed my income tax return. and they sent me a letter back, and I was only going to get $367 back, but I was going to buy tires for my dad's truck. He was letting me use his truck, and it needed new tires, and that's what I was going to do with the money. And they sent me a letter back, and they said, we've applied it to your tax balance from a previous year. And I was like, what does this mean? I've been in prison for 5 years. I haven't filed taxes in many years. And so I got up early and I was at the tax office. I was waiting in line like at 7 o'clock in the morning because the door opened at 8 and I knew they had like minimal people working. And so I waited my turn and I went in and talked to them, and come to find out my ex-husband had carried me as a dependent all of those years. And so I had to go through a long, lengthy process. They gave me my tax return the second year, and then the third year they held it again for the same reason. And so it took me right at 3 years to get all of my income tax straightened out. They finally ended up assigning me an advocate through the legal system for taxpayer services, and she was out of Fort Worth, and she helped me to walk through that whole process and get all of my income tax information straightened out, and they gave me all of my refunds back. So that was just amazing. So, you know, I would highly advise whenever you get out for you to follow up. I mean, because you need to take care of your business, because it's not something that you can just turn from. You've got to walk into that and take care of it one piece at a time. At first, it may seem overwhelming, but one piece at a time, you need to take care of that. Your credit report, your taxes, because those people are more than willing to work with you and help you. And there are programs within the IRS that will help you if you owe money, because that's all part of getting our life back on track, is getting our financial side back on track to where it's workable.